on presenting again, and I'll move to the next slide.
Yeah. So, myself, Suman Lata Sinha. In short, it's just Suman. I'm a personal fitness coach as well as a sport nutritionist. I did my certification from IFSI Academy, which is like affiliated with EduFit, which is a European-based fitness industry, basically. So this is about me. Prior to this, I was working as an HR manager, HR head, various positions and roles in HR domain. 7 years I worked in that. Then I quit my corporate and gradually shifted towards health and fitness. So this is what today I'm going to share, how what made me shift towards this domain and why it was necessary for people like us to move towards it, as well as how you guys can focus on your health by making very small changes, which looks very big when we look from the ad or other people like celebrity endorsing fitness, but it's actually just anybody, anytime, any place can do it. So that's the whole making the concept of health doable and easy. Shikha, can we move to next slide, please? Next, please.
Okay, so this is a safe harbor statement for
Okay.
our session because it is related to health, nutrition, and all of that. So, yeah.
So what I will be discussing over here is going to be very generic. At the same time, whatever rest of I'll try to finish this presentation next 10 to 15 minutes. I want more you guys to ask me out your questions, your doubts, and in general, what are the certain myths that you guys think, or you're in a dilemma that this is what to do, this is not to do, so that I can clear all those concepts for you. So rather than keeping it like a theoretical presentation, I would like you guys to get engaged and actually ask out your questions. Okay, please feel free to ask me any question at any stage of this presentation. So basically, today's agenda, I have segregated between health and fitness. I'll briefly describe what's the difference between health and fitness. Then my focus will completely shift towards health. And what then? The next we will be moving is aspects of healthy lifestyle. In that, again, three categories are there. I'll briefly describe that, and we will be mostly focusing on first two, that is your emotional well-being and your physical well-being, and then small steps that you can take towards maintaining that. The third aspect is spiritual, which will be like seeing in next slide. I will not be touching upon that a lot because then this meeting will keep on going. There is no ending once we get into that dimension of health. So this is the overall flow of the presentation, how it is going to be. So I will be focusing mainly on health. I'll tell you guys what's the difference between health and fitness. Then my focus will shift on health. In health, it will be shifting mostly on your emotional aspect and your physical aspect. Shika, please, next slide. Okay. So when we talk about health, we usually misunderstand health and fitness as in one term. But when we see in a medical term, or even if you search in dictionary, health and fitness is not the same thing. Health is basically you are free from any kind of illness or medical ailment. But when we talk about fitness, it is like you can put your body through certain challenges. It might create no discomfort to you if you're frequently uh, in touch with your physical activity, or up to certain limit of it will strain you out if you're trying to physically challenge you doing certain tasks. It can be like, suppose sprinting, you're a marathon runner but you're going for a sprint, so it will create a pain for you, but you're still able to do it. That is the fitness zone. Here in fitness zone, you're actually going to put your body under certain challenges, and still you're able to do it either with no discomfort or little discomfort. But in health category, when we talk, it just means you're on no medication. You can eat, drink as per your choice. You have no requirement to go to doctor based on what you eat, how you sleep, or what kind of drinks are going inside your body. So there's a two major difference between health and fitness. Now our whole presentation or whole discussion is going to be more focused towards health, because fitness is a very scientific area. But still, if you guys have any query regarding fitness, it can be weight training, it can be aerobic related, or your nutrition related, I'm open to answer on it. But my focus is going to be more on health and various aspects of health. Shika, can we move to next slide, please? If anybody has any question at this point, please feel free to ask me. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are audible.
Thanks, Minakshi. So I hope I'm clear with the health and the fitness as in term, and we can move to now aspects of healthy lifestyle. So there are three major ingredients which play a very important role when we talk about your healthy lifestyle or your health. First is the emotional, which is an invisible thing. It's like a ghost. Everyone talks about it, but nobody has seen it yet. And yet this is a zone where majority of people are suffering, which leads to physical discomfort, physical deterioration of your health. And the third aspect is spiritual. Emotional and physical, I will go in detail in over the next few slides, so I will not touch more here. But about spiritual, again, spiritual, please do not stand. I Yes, hello.
I believe that was some re-entry. No worries, carry on.
Okay, okay, thanks. So, I was talking about spiritual. So, very briefly, I will take you guys over spiritual aspect of your health. Please do not misunderstand it with religious aspect. Spiritualism or spiritual aspect of your health is some a point where you reconnect with yourself. As in person, you will have many layers. Like you guys are developers. You come from a technical background. Some people come from marketing or other aspects like quality analyst, that kind of background. So that is one role you play. Then you come back to your home, then you're a friend, you're a parent, you're a guide to someone, you are a daughter, son, etc. So these are the roles. But in this entire journey, one person you forget is that is yourself. So when you sit and you try to reconnect to yourself, that is what spiritualism means. And that is where you start getting answers for the unknown zone. It's basically one-on-one conversation with yourself. So this is what Max I will be discussing about spiritual aspect. Anybody has any question over this? Later, after discussing this emotional thing and physical aspect of your health, we will. I'm open to discuss about this aspect as well. So we'll be moving now to the emotional aspect of your healthy lifestyle. Now, firstly, how and what the emotion is, what triggers you or what makes you to put a name to your emotion. You are what you are made of, things, the experience you are accumulated from your physical surroundings. It can be books, your family, your friends, movies, music, the type of uh, exposure you are putting yourself through gather certain type of information in your mind. It is basically data, and when you sit and try to process those data, that leads to thought generation. So when you're processing this data and you're able to categorize all this data, okay, this is called happiness. Happiness is a feeling. A feeling leads to emotion. Then this is sad, you have named it as an, okay, this kind of information I'm tagging as sad. And then this is leading you to feel sad about certain things, that again happens and triggers you. And you name it, okay, this is the emotional phase where I am feeling sad. So it's nothing but the feelings, thoughts, which is accumulated over the period of time towards what you have put yourself through. And that is how your finally how you react or respond is determined. So it we can segregate is in three ways. Firstly, you gather certain data, you process it, that is through thought processing, and you convert it into information. And later in your life, when certain incidents or circumstances you face, it triggers. So based on your emotional intelligence level, either you guys will react or you will respond. If your processing capacity, that is the second stage of thought generation, is at a lower frequency, it will be a reaction. Certain people, that's what we call like matured category kind of people who process or who think a lot, they might be responding to those triggers. So any questions with the relation in relation to your emotions? I hope we are clear what how exactly to identify the emotion.
Yep.
Okay, so next we will be going towards on enhancing our emotional health. Now, why it is important? Because your emotional health is directly in equation with your physical health. How you look outside is directly dependent on how you look inside. And this is one aspect which is largely ignored, even if certain cases and certain information in media due to present scenario, whether we talk about SSR case, Sushant Singh Rajput's case, or Deepika Padukone, certain celebrities have talked and made it very fancy, but it's nothing like that. It is way more deeper than that. And majority of people, I will tell, statistics say around 90% of people does not even realize that they are emotionally challenged, emotionally unavailable, or struggling. What exactly is triggering or forcing them to make certain decisions in their life which they regret either later or rejoice later. So it has a huge impact on your decision making abilities. The three things that we can do to enhance our emotional health is: first is train your attention. It is not measurable, but it is doable. And once you start the training, it is definitely measurable as well. What exactly train your attention means is, like any other body part, if you want it to grow, you need to challenge that muscle, you need to break down those muscles, and then when they repair and recover, it comes as a stronger muscle. Same thing, your brain is a muscle. It's an organ, it's a muscle where majority of your data processing takes place. And it is a trainable thing. You need to train it, you need to break it, and then it comes out as a stronger muscle of your body. Now train your attention. What exactly it means is, suppose you're sitting ideal or you're doing something and certain thoughts are randomly passing in and out in your subconscious level. Like you're working, but you're aware of what you're thinking, and accordingly your moods are swinging. Either you're feeling happy or you're feeling low, but still you're continuing to do something else. So it's like you're doing three things at the same time. First, you're working, you know certain thoughts are triggering in your mind. It can be just one day incident, it can be 10 years back incident, or it can be a childhood incident. And third, your emotions are getting affected, but still, out of all these three, you guys are doing nothing. It's like we are just working. This is where the attention comes. I suggest to do 1 hour 1 minute rule. How this 1 hour 1 minute thing work is, every 1 minute in your 1 hours, just take a break, pause, check with yourself. How exactly am I feeling? Am I happy? Am I stable? Is something disturbing to me? When you put those questions to yourself, automatically, okay, this incident happened in the morning. Suppose it can be you were late to office, or you got caught up in traffic and some small fight happened, which is like constantly in background of your mind. You don't know exactly how you're behaving, but your colleagues will tell you're not the same today. This has happened to many of us, right? Like we will be telling, I'm just behaving the way I behave, but the people in front of us, no, you are not behaving your usual self. And we ourselves is not aware what exactly is affecting. Here you take that 1 minute pause, You recollect what happened whole day, or what exactly is going in the background of your mind, that is your subconscious level, which is keep on poking you. Then you decide, okay, this is what is disturbing me. You decide upon it. Is it worth paying attention on it right now, or can I push it in the back further later? If it is something which is going to take a lot of time, make sure you push it in back of your mind, and make yourself talk to yourself and make yourself understand, okay, this is not what is important at this moment. This work has to be done, or this meeting has to be attended. I will go get back when I have time. I'll give dedicate 10 minutes and work on it. So when you have this kind of conversation, basically you're aware of what exactly you're feeling. It will avoid two things. First, you will not snap out on other people. You will have very healthy relationship. Overall, your professionalism will be improvised. People will like to be around you because they know this person is not going to snap on us randomly. Nobody likes people getting snappy on them. And second, you know where exactly to treat yourself, which part of the day was spoiled, or which part of the day was triggering, due to what factor. You can attend it in a more conscious way. Then the second thing, any questions here? Hello?
We can hear you.
Yeah, any questions? Okay, then we'll move to the next point. Eliminate. Just give me a minute, I'll be back. Yeah, I'm back now. So, next we will be going through eliminate negative thinking patterns with cognitive restructuring. Now, cognitive restructuring, first we'll understand this word. Cognitive restructuring means, cognitive stands for a pattern, a sequence where things are happening in a repetitive cyclical way. There's a pattern to it. And when we start training our attention, we will understand the patterns repeating in our life. These patterns can be positive, this pattern can be negative. So at one point, you need to understand if it is impacting negatively to you guys, you need to restructure it. How we restructure it is, first paying attention, understanding the pattern, and replacing those patterns with the positive things. If not positive, at least the acceptance. For everything we cannot replace positive, like suppose someone have a childhood trauma, or disturbing family issues are going around the person. We cannot expect them to, okay, just close your eyes and subah sab theek ho jayega. This is not the attitude we can put them through. So there, what exactly works is acceptance. Okay, this is has already happened. Now what is happening, there can be 10 different outcomes to it, but these are the certain stable things, like I'm alive, I have a job, I have food on my plate. With simple gratitude steps can keep you sane, at the same time aware, conscious about your surrounding. So when you do this kind of pattern breaking, it's called restructuring. It's not like you bring yourself into back in that cycle. Oh, this has happened to me, I will never get out of this. Things are never going to get better for me. There's a philosophical whimsical and circle. Breaking of that circle is called cognitive restructuring. Cognitive means pattern, and restructuring means you're breaking and restructuring those thoughts with two things: acceptance or positivity. where positive thoughts is not possible, always go for the acceptance, because acceptance take you out of from the uncertainty. What scares people is when they're uncertain about things. But once you accept the things, there is nothing scary, because you have already accepted. Now you know, okay, this is what has happened, or this is done. What is done is done. So you're certain about this. The only thing you're not certain about is the consequences, which leads to us to at least stand at an
Okay.
acceptance mode.
So sorry to
Yes.
interrupt, but you're breaking up.
Sorry.
Simran, you're
Shikha, I didn't
breaking
get
up.
your. But my voice is not audible.
Yeah, it's audible, but it's breaking in between, so we can hear half of it and not the other half.
Okay, I'm really sorry. Actually, it's raining in Bangalore, and Wi-Fi is literally very weak. I've come to my neighbor's house to get a better Wi-Fi.
Okay.
I'm really
Okay.
sorry for that.
It's
But
better.
due to
It's
rain,
better
it's
now, I think so.
so. Yeah, Meenakshi, what you're telling me?
I'm saying it's better now than before.
Okay. So, anything that I should repeat about cognitive restructuring?
I believe we didn't miss anything. It was just breaking for a couple of seconds. You can continue.
Oh, sure. Thank you, Shah. The third thing is build a better relationship with your emotion using validation. Now, emotions using validation, what it exactly stands for is, if you're sad, just accept it you're sad. If you're happy, just accept it as an happiness. Put a tag on each and every emotion, that this is exciting, this is thrilling, this is sad, this is angry, this is what is peaceful, so that you know what you're connecting yourself with. In case you're not validating, validation means you're not naming your emotions, you're feeling sad. At times, have you guys experienced like you're sad and you're angry at the same time, which in the man's world people say you we are on PMS, but that's not the truth, right? This happens, this sadness and anger is usually happens because we do not validate our emotion. We could have been hurt about certain instance happening to us via our friend, family, or anything. At the same time, when it's between two people or two incident, that hurt leads to anger. But what we miss is whether we are angry or hurt. First, we need to address it. Okay, certain things happened. Suppose two best friends looking for same kind of promotion in an office, and due to some miscommunication or misinformation, it came out as an office politics. Now two best friends, one got the promotion, did not get the promotion. The other person, at the first step, when that person will get the information is, this is has happened, logically that person will be hurt, not angry. But he will not. Usually what we do not treat our emotions at that stage. We keep on thinking, we were such a good friend, how can they do this behind us, how can others can do this to us. I accept that person has also done a good job, but I was better in certain things where I actually helped the other person, I deserve this. When we keep on thinking in this way, it leads to anger. And now we are confused, like whether we are angry or hurt. I think Shikha was suggesting about something social, right? Hello.
Yes, I think we can hear you.
Okay. No, Shikha was asking me something, I guess, in chat window.
No, it was Anshita. She was asking like talk social like. there will be GD. So it's like a BAM swag. The person tweeting out the most, maximum, like taking the stock on social, sharing super
Mm-hmm.
data views, and you're learning. That's it. You can continue.
Okay. So anybody who, can they share an incident where they're confused between their emotions? Anybody from you guys? It need not be very personal, but a generic one. It can be like in public area or certain incidents which you guys can share with us. Give me any life scenario where you're confused between your two emotions. Sometimes whether you're happy and excited, thrilled or happy, sad or angry. This kind of confusion has happened. I'm sure everyone of us has gone through it.
One for
Uh,
me is when I'm leaving an organization and joining another one. It's a happy moment that I'm
mhm.
growing when it comes to my career path, but then sad that I'll be, away from my friends, place, and I'll miss the office.
Okay. Now, what actually makes you sad in a social world? Okay, it's not like you are going to lose or miss your friends, colleagues, because we all are socially connected, and this corona has proved how well connected we are. Okay, is the aspect of uncertainty in the new place that is what is scaring, and that this is the place where we misunderstand the feeling of familiarity becoming unfamiliar.
Shika, I think there's some network issue. Sumilata left us from the meeting.
Yeah, yeah, I'm checking with her.
Yeah, so anybody wants to share their experience or their story? Anybody by then?
Ma'am, hello ma'am, I'm Akshata.
Yeah.
Actually, I just wanna share like I'm studying. I'm studying. I'm happy that I'm studying, but I'm also sad that whatever I study, I'm not studying it well. Like not achieving my goal at the end of the day. What I have the targets, I'm not doing that. I'm sad about that, and simultaneously I'm happy too. So, is there any way?
Happy with, like, you're not able to achieve your goals, but with what particular
No,
thing
I'm
you
not
feel
able
like
to
you're happy?
achieve my goal.
Okay. So did you ever plan your, so sorry, I'm just, having a chat with you. Okay. So it's like, how are you thinking to overcome your things, overcome your problem, like to achieve your goal? Are you planning that?
Mom, I'm too finding that I don't know what
Just
is
a
the
small
success of it.
suggestion. Okay, anybody wants to suggest something like this? Can be very general with everybody. Like you're not able to achieve a goal, right? So how do we do? How do we plan? It's in our real life scenario as well when we are working in projects or stuff. So
Okay.
we have some, yeah. Anybody?
Hi, Isha, I'm back. Sorry, my Wi-Fi
No
got
worries.
disconnected.
We were just
Isha, can
engaging.
I
We can't hear you properly.
am I audible now?
Yeah. Much better.
So, Isha, can I have your question, please?
Yeah, so it wasn't really my question, but I believe you are the perfect person to answer. Anshita wanted like shared like
Hmm.
she's studying, okay, so she's not able to achieve her goal. What I believe when I'm assuming for myself at her phase that we have to
Mhm.
study this much, this much, this much. Okay, we are dividing a thing, but we are not achieving that. Maybe on day one, I plan to study these many chapters. On day two, I plan to do these many chapters. But
Correct.
unfortunately, we are not able to achieve that. So how do we overcome that?
Okay. First thing, we need to understand when we are making our goals, it has to be very much realistic. The calculation, whether you're a daily studious type, like you every day you study something little bit, either it
Yes,
is
ma'am.
that, Akshita, right? So you
Yes, ma'am.
study every day, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So you can address me Suman, no need to call ma'am. It's fine. We all are buddies here. It's a community, right? So see, Akshita, what happens when you study every day? For you, coping up is very easy, right? You don't need one day entire to understand the concept, because every day little bit you're putting effort to understand your concepts. So when you set your goals, okay, the thing is how many hours you are going to invest in it. Suppose you decide 4 hours are going to be invested for my this particular subject. First thing. Then second, how difficult that subject is to you, how much you have been in touch, only you will know while planning. So you will decide upon that, okay, chapter number 2, I have no 10% of it, 90% I don't know. So next 3 hours I'm going to put into that chapter, and my 1 hour I'm going to put in a other chapter where most of the things, 80% things I know, and only 20% revision or brush up I need to do. So you need to plan your goal in 2 steps: how many hours you are going to give in a day, and second, which part is how difficult and how much you are in touch with that part, so that you are very clear with your overall goal. Now the third thing, in spite of doing all this thing, something happened, some phone call came, and suddenly you today morning you woke up, okay, today I'm in a very good mood, I'm going to study for next 4 hours and learn all these beautiful things. But a call came, it can be friend, family, or social media, and your mood is suddenly 360-degree downwards. Now you don't have same energy, right? Or an
Yes, ma'am.
unwelcome guest came. So the energy with which you woke up to meet your goals, you planned your goals, now you have energy also, but some unpredictable thing happened and you are not able to meet your goal. Okay, it can be your emotional aspect or a physical aspect. Physical aspect means some guest came, or a power breakout, or some physical incident happening around you which you have no control over it. And second one will be your emotional aspect, a phone call, something that triggered you on a feelings level, either made you sad, happy, very excited, or angry. That kind of thing. Whenever you're in a disturbed zone, you will not be able to study. It can be even overly happiness or sadness. It can be either thing. You have to be stable when you want to learn something. So these two incident we are taking, one is physical and one is your emotional aspect. You just have to go with one thing, is acceptance. That's not the end of the life. Tomorrow again you are going to wake up, again you are going to have those 24 hours, but you need to make sure what has disturbed or came in between today, in this next 4 hours of your life, which is going to snatch away those time in your life. You need to make sure that same reason is not happening again. If it's a physical aspect, power cut, internet issue, I'm very sure in present world we will come up with an alternative, or we will adjust our, like what we were going to do 2 hours later, we'll do it purely, and next 4 hours we can dedicate to achieve our goals. But when it comes to emotional aspect, that is where we get disturbed. We never put a deadline. If you feel like cry, do you put a deadline? Okay, one whole day I will cry and then I'm done. Tomorrow again I'm not going to sit and cry and waste my another hours which I could have invested in studies. We never do that. This is where validation comes in picture. You need to validate, accept it. Okay, I'm not in a right state of mind to finish my studies. So what exactly I'm going to do or go ahead about it? Am I going to just force myself study and actually learn nothing, or am I going to take a break and address how exactly I am feeling? So these two things you need to act do first is acceptance, address the issue. If the issue has a solution, well and good. If this issue does not have a solution, acceptance, decide a deadline, and move ahead. But give yourself that much deserved break so that again you can come into stability situation. By doing this, now you will feel I have not able to meet my goal. You will not be, actually you will miss those 4 hours window, but you're saving yourself from wasting another 8 hours leaving this issue untreated. When this is what we do, by avoiding doctors also, right? Any infection or discomfort which would have been just 5 minute 10-minute visit to a doctor, we keep on ignore it, and one day it becomes where we have to get operated. This is the same thing what we do. This is like worse than that. Actually, physical discomfort still pushes you to go and take an action, but your emotional discomfort, we never take action towards it. Akshita, I hope I'm able to give you an answer.
Yes, ma'am. I got all of the answers. Thank you.
Most welcome. So, in brief, I will just say first, be very realistic. How to make goals is like analyze your strength and weakness, put your investment into it in terms of time, and if that investment time is getting interrupted, two things again, segregate it. Does this have a solution or it does not have a solution? Does it have something to do with physical surrounding environmental aspect or my mental aspect? If it is physical thing, find a solution. If not, immediate solution is not there, it's okay, just accept it, next day is there, but get yourself disturbed. If it is a mental aspect, emotional aspect, sit for some time, properly segregate it, how much time you are going to dedicate on it, and get it rectified, only then move ahead. It will save you a lot of time in future, and it will just delay your goal achievement from 1 day or 2 day max, but not weeks. That is where you are saving your investment. And who knows, at times people, when they clear out all these blockages, they are more energetic, they vibrate at a higher frequency level, and they are even able to achieve more than what they have planned for. So validation of your emotion comes in picture here. Shikha, can we move to next slide, please?
Yeah, Suman, I also want to add one thing. Can
Sure,
you hear me?
yeah, yes, Meenakshi. Meenakshi, please go ahead.
Can anyone else hear me?
Yes, we can hear
Yeah,
you.
Yes, Meenakshi. Manju answered us.
Yeah.
Yes, I was able to hear.
Oh, okay. So I think so. There is one more problem that we are lacking concentration also. That's why we are not able to achieve our goals. So how to improve concentration also?
Yes. If you remember the first point, train your attention. Okay. We all see each other. We should concentrate. We should focus, right? But have actually anybody taught us how to do it? Right? Our parents always tell us, you should focus on your studies. Or our boss will tell, you should focus on your work. Concentrate. But actually the problem is nobody taught us how to concentrate or how to focus. This is very much trainable thing. Now what is concentration and focus? You're doing something, okay? Suppose you need to drink 8 glasses of water, you know very well. You have segregated it, okay, in every 2 hours I'm going to drink 1 glass of water, and this is how I'm going to achieve my 8 glass of water. After this segregation, still something happens, like in that next 2 hours something else will, someone will call you, or water is not in that place where you're used to keeping it. Something will happen. Instead of getting distracted, it's a very small thing, but just practice it. You still find your water and drink it. First day it will be very difficult, second day it will become little easier, third day it is going to be same, 7 days no results, but the eighth day, without putting any effort, it will just happen as if you were born with that talent. It just whenever your mind is running somewhere, but see, subconscious always is aware that what exactly has to be done, needs to be done, right? It's just the mind who looks for the distraction. For some time you need to train. If I'm doing certain ABC task, I have to get back to that ABC task. Is the willingness. Every day you have to practice that willingness to focus on one thing at a time. And you know what, Minakshi, what the problem is nowadays, we all look for multitaskers. Nobody appreciates someone who is very focused and concentrated and creative, right? People like who can do multiple things at a time, and which is actually harming us at various subconscious level. So it is an ingrained thing happening with the modern world. But at the same time, where we can protect ourselves is by having train your thoughts. Train your thoughts which direction it is going and what is the need of the hour. Your mind will run, just pull it back. How to do it practically, I'll tell you. Start with a small thing. Minakshi, tell me one thing which you always want to do, but you are not doing it just because either you get distracted or something else comes in the way.
Um, I got basically a bad habit that I usually check my phone while working. So
Okay.
I want to stop it, but I'm actually not able to. So I think so. This is because of the pandemic only that we are sitting on the one place only, and we have access to our phones and everything side by side and working, and I can open any social site or something while
Hmm.
working while on call. So I want to stop it. I'm not able to actually.
Okay. So, Minakshi, uh, I would love to hear from you after doing this. Okay. Let's put it a live task. Put a soft music in your background and
Mhm.
start working. Okay. A very soft music so that it does not disturb on your work calls, or
Mhm.
not drastically noisy that a neighbor should come and complain. But just put some kind of soft music. I'm sure you do your work from home also in sittings, right? 2 hours, then you take a small break, and then next 2 hours, then take a small break, right? It's not at a stretch. So suppose you're
Yeah.
working 2 hours at a stretch. Put some music for 2 hours, and every time when you will have tendency to go back to your mobile and check social media, just focus on the lyrics or the music for 1 minute and give yourself a thought. I need to finish my work, and after 2 hours my break is waiting for me. At that, after 2 hours I will check my phone.
Okay.
Just try with this. And
Mhm.
I will share, like I have shared my email ID in the slides also, or if Shikha has another way we can connect, I would love to hear whether you are able to do it or not.
Sure, sure. I will share my experience with you.
Yeah, just put some music behind, in background, whatever music you like, something soft, nice, which will soothe you. And whenever you feel like to check your phone, just one thought you need to generate, and that thought is, after 2 hours my break is waiting, I will check my social media at that time.
Okay, sure.
Okay, just this one thought. First 3 days I'm telling you it's going to be challenging, but seventh day, trust me, it is going to work out. But
Mhm.
this 7 days dedication and consistency is needed. Just one thought.
Yeah.
See what you need to after 2 hours my break is waiting, I will check my social media in that break. That's it.
Okay, I'll try and share my experience with you.
Please,
And
Minakshi. Okay,
Suman,
I guess
Manju
Manju
here.
wants.
Yeah, I would give
Hi.
one advice that there are multiple apps. So just go for any five-star app for concentration. So there are brain apps that help development for your concentration. But again, don't
Yeah, you
get
have
distracted with.
binaural. You have this binaural beats also, you will get it, right? That's what you're talking about, Manju, right?
Yes, there are many apps even on your online website as well that you can play small or games, and there are tricks that help your brain to focus or to
Yeah,
be,
but you
I
need
I
mean,
know one
develop
of
your
remember one.
concentration skills.
yeah.
Yeah, but you need to remember one thing is like, in the process of getting de-addicted to one thing, don't get addicted to something
Yes,
else.
right. I was about to tell
That
that Even looking for
That's
such
where
app
the
don't get
thought,
restricted that you start finding about the other games.
yes, because that's where the thought plays a very important role. Because at the same time, you have a music in your background, so you don't feel that lonely, that no noise or so much silence is there. You're like isolated. But at the same time, when you're generating that thought, after 2 hours, my break is waiting, and that is the time I'm going to check my phone. That is a strength. It's like an incentive given to you, like 2 hours you work, and then you're going to get your that 5-10 minutes. So actually your thoughts are controlling you, not your music. So same thought, one thought you can generate for anything that you would like to leave behind.
Yeah.
That's why validation with yourself. Okay, I will check my phone only during my break time. That's it.
Yeah, the
Because
discipline we need to have.
You have to be
I
conscious about what you're communicating to yourself.
Mhm.
See, just take it. I'll give you a very simple thing example. When we talk to other people professionally, or even when we are in a dicey friendship situation, right? Relationships and all, how consciously, word by word, we speak, like no one should misunderstand us, no one should manipulate us. We're so careful. So why can't we practice same degree of care when we talk to ourselves? At that time it's like diarrhea ना, जो आया हम लोग सब सोच लेना है, सब we will process it, and then we will talk to ourselves. So communicate. Your break is after 2 hours, and that is the time you are going to take your social media and go through it, and that too 5 to 10 minutes, and that's it. And the other thing you need to start doing is stop going through your phone 30 minutes prior your sleep. Just keep it away. How much ever
Yeah, that I
tempting it is.
started. That I started. Actually, a book helped me a lot. So I started reading books. So otherwise, I love to watch Friends while sleeping. So I stopped it like in a week before. So I started reading a book. It helping me a lot. Like
And your quality of sleep has increased, right?
right, yeah. I felt a
So
difference. Yeah.
so again, here what technique have you used is replacing. Mobile has been replaced with the book. Now gradually you need to move a situation where you're comfortable with yourself. You know what's the reason why you go for mobile or go for the book? It gives you a numbness feeling. Otherwise your brain is always generating thoughts. It can be either good thoughts or a bad thoughts, which are like always either makes you happy or makes you anxious, right? And by to avoid that, you go either to mobile or to book, which will give the feeling of that calmness and numbness, so that no thoughts come in your mind, and then you feel drowsy.
Yeah, true.
Is It's like that, right, Meenakshi? So
Right, right. It's true.
you need to even leave book, but not immediately. Book is surely a good start than mobile. Go ahead with this practice for 21 days, but after that, start confronting yourself. It's okay if thoughts are coming. Just tell it's okay. I'll see tomorrow. This is my rest time. Again, the thought will be, this is my rest time. Let me take rest. Tomorrow is a new day, new beginning. I'll see what can I do best. It will eliminate your anxiousness.
Okay. Thank you.
Most
So, Suman, I'll quickly add two things here. So,
welcome.
Meenakshi, be confident about this advice you have given, that music. I actually implemented it and it's working for me. So
Great.
what was happening that I was thinking that I'll wake up early, I'll complete all my household work
Mm-hmm.
because 10 or 11 a.m. I had to start working for office. So I need to finish preparing for the lunch and I should complete breakfast and everything. So
Mm-hmm.
it was getting difficult. I was waking up late and then whole day it goes like busy. So I started waking up early, but what was happening that I wake up at 6 and then start looking at mobile and realize that 1 hour is gone.
Gone. So you switch to
So
music.
so I started the same thing that when I wake up and after getting fresh, I started music in the mobile and then I started working in the house. So
And
it was helping me that I did not get distracted and was focusing on my household work instead of checking mobiles or status of others.
Manju, you have come up with a very good point, which I was planning to discuss in a later slide also, but I'll share it. When you wake up, you start your day 10 minutes with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing, no mobile, no music. Just listen to your breathing pattern. Sit for 10 minutes with yourself. Organize your mind. Organizing in your mind, I mean, okay, what I'm going to cook, first, what I'm going to do, and give an affirmation to yourself how my day is going to be. My day is going to be pleasant, organized, and I am going to have a peaceful, restful day. You start your day with this affirmation. Certain mornings you will wake up with some anxiousness. Okay, today we have a meeting, or today household work is more. How I'm going to manage those kind of anxiousness whenever it comes? Give yourself an affirmation. One thing at a time. Let me clean my house first. Let me sit and finish my presentation second. That's it. In that moment, what you're doing, you will not even realize one task after another task. You will keep on doing, and end of the day, it's like bang, I did it, everything. And the kind of rest and peace it will give you while going in your bed will be of different level. We say now, always look at a bigger picture. At times it is better to just see what is next, and don't go for the whole day, just go for that moment. Try to do that 10 minutes with yourself. Organize your mind. If you have nothing in your mind, just listen to your breathing pattern. Count your breaths, that's the best. Just count your breaths, and then go ahead with your day. So even the music dependency you will be able to eliminate, because then you are in rhythm with yourself. The best music you can ever generate is your breath. And I think this pandemic has made all of us realize that. We are still lucky, like we did not lose anyone who was close, near and dear one to us. But there are people who has lost, and they know how crucial this pandemic was, or it is still. So just get in sync with yourself. That 10 minutes of silence, it will make a huge difference in your life. It will be a better day. Just go step by step each day. First what you're going to do, next what you're going to do. Complete your task and appreciate yourself. What we forget, no, we never appreciate. Okay, what you have done, you have just prepared the meals, this is how we treat ourselves. No, what have you done? You have prepared all the three meals, and that's the achievement. Appreciate yourself. One task done, my food is secured. Now was the second task. Then, okay, one presentation is there to give. Go ahead, do the presentation. Give a 1 minute pause to yourself. Okay, my presentation went well, it's done, it's finished. How exactly I'm feeling? Second task done. Well done, Manju. Talk to yourself like that, positive affirmation. Now what's next? Let me take a 5 minute break. I will grab a quick coffee, or anything, any beverage that makes you calm, and I will go through my social media quickly, and then back to my task 3. So this way your day goes very organized. Manju, I
Yeah.
hope you can. Do you?
Yes, yes. Thank you so much. We are meeting first time, but it looks like you know me better.
No, it's nothing like that. We all go through that.
Yeah.
Uh,
Another important thing, I don't want to miss appreciating that thing that you earlier has talked about, that we are like stuck in being multitasker. So this is
yeah,
a trend that we all do multitasking, and that is how we are not appreciating what we have done, but always looking for what we haven't done.
yes.
And that was something I used to practice when I'm not very good at. But every evening I had to tell myself, no, no, don't feel sad. You have did this. You have did this. No problem if this is something was not on time. So it's okay. I had to even tell it to myself every day.
See, tell me one thing. Who tells you guys are not multitasking? You guys are cooking. You guys are cooking half. You guys are working. You take out time for your friends, you take out time for your family, then you take out time for yourself. How come you guys are not multitasker? What more you expect from yourself? Don't you guys think this is high time you accept yourself? See, one single person, if you go to a restaurant, a cleaner will only do cleaning job, a chef will do only cooking thing, he will work only on recipe. But you guys work on, in a technical field or a non-technical field, you do your work, you cook for yourself and your family, you take care of your friends, your families, yourself, the course of the house, then managing all the groceries, coordinating with 10 different bills that has to be paid at right time to the right person, all transactions happening for day to day livelihood. What more you guys are expecting from yourself? Just accept it. You guys are multitaskers and you so far so good. You guys have done amazing. This kind of affirmation don't expect others to give you. You have to give this affirmation to yourself. When you switch over your job also, when one role to you move from one profile, one role to the other role, you learn new things. At the same time, when you are going through something new in your life, you're still managing everything from feeding, bathing, coordinating with 10 different bills, that is still parallelly going in your life. What more you guys want? Never thought in this way, right? That so much you guys are doing. Manju.
Absolutely, absolutely, Suman.
So
Yeah, I do remember that my father used to tell me that uh, you are not sad because you haven't done that. You are sad because you have set high expectations.
yes, and here
So, which
the
was not real.
question. And see, when you're sad, no, your energy levels automatically comes down. You will not even feel like to do anything else, right? Your body goes in that lazy zone and in a very upset mode. But when you appreciate yourself, okay, I have done certain things, you get an instant energy to do 10 different tasks as well. Just morning you wake up, okay, 20 tasks are there to be done. In midtime afternoon, wow, 10 tasks has been done. I have throughout the day, I'll go ahead and do one by one each and let's see how many I'm able to do. If you go with this approach, magically you will find out you have done not 20 but 22 tasks. You will be over and above achiever of your day. And for this you need to appreciate and give affirmation yourself. Don't wait for others to come and notice it. This is where we go wrong. We expect others to notice it, but we always forget to accept ourselves first. You are going to be the first appreciator of yourself because you know how your day started and how you're carrying that day on your shoulder. Nobody else knows that.
So true.
So I hope, Manju, I am able to make some sense and we are clear on this page, right?
No, definitely you were 100% clear. So setting expectations with ourselves, real expectations ourselves will lead you to the happiness. Even through in a relation as well, when we are, feel sometimes we are feel hurted, but it's not because of the other person. It's sometimes because we have set some expectations and that something was not fulfilled, and that
Yes.
mostly is the reason that we are sad. But the other person is not aware of those expectations and he might not be doing anything wrong or anything to hurt you, but because of our expectations we are feeling so.
Yes. So the first step is always acceptance, which leads to openness towards seeing various situation in true colors. And it will come by practice. Everything is a practice. It will not happen in one day. It is like step by step practice. The problem is, in our childhood we have learned maths, we learned English, we learned languages, we learned science, but nobody taught us how to learn emotions. Nobody taught us how to accept things in life. Nobody taught us how to deal with yourself when you're clueless. No school, no syllabus. I believe we cannot find a single book on it in our school time, right? But suddenly at the age of after 20 or 20 plus, we start finding all this self-help book. So this is something has been introduced very late in our life, but nevertheless, still we can go ahead and start practicing this thing. Shall we move? Yes,
Yep, sure. We can move ahead.
Manju will say you can be in contact with me. Try to make the small changes and let me know how things works out for you. I'll be glad to know your
Yep, sure. Yep, sure. Thank you.
most welcome. So we'll
Yeah, Suman, what is the best medium to be in contact with you?
email, or I can share my WhatsApp number also with you guys. I'll share it
Okay,
with
okay.
Shikha and she will be sharing with you guys. Will that work?
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Ah. So I'll surely make sure we stay in contact. I'll share my WhatsApp number. I'll share my email ID as well. That's the two fastest way, because Instagram and Facebook we tend to lose messages, and uh, I'm more into physical fitness, so it takes my lot of time. So, but the fastest way is WhatsApp and email. I go through every day, and I for sure reply on it.
Sure.
Okay, so we will move next to physical fitness. Once we are, see, always when we talk about our health, we need to start from our emotional health parameters, because once we are secured in our emotional health, we can focus more on our physical health. We can focus more on our mental health. We can focus more on our stability and staying stable. But vice versa, at times what happen, you will not be able to pull through certain things which is mentally torturing you or mentally restraining you to do to go ahead and do the right thing. In that scenario, always put the physical activity first, because when you're tired physically, you move, use your body more, it leads to a certain level of satisfaction chemically. It's basically dopamine hormones, which is the happy hormones get released in your body post physical movements. And the other thing which enables you to enhance or concrete your overall personality more is physical changes can be easily quantified. Like suppose you want to gain weight, you want to lose weight, or you want to look in a certain way. Gaining and losing weight is a very shallow way of seeing physical fitness. I will not discuss in that way. It has way much more beyond that. Your strength, what's your condition to do majority of tasks, all those things matter, but it is somehow measurable. Some people just want to reduce some weight, some people just want to gain some weight, some people want to push over their stamina, endurance, and strength level. So these things can be measured from day 1 to day 30 or day 90, or after 1 year where they are now. It is, since it is quantified, it is easily visible in terms of numbers, in terms of your physical appearance, has direct relation with your emotions. When you set a goal for yourself, which can be quantified, which is visible to you after few days, it will automatically lead to an emotional satisfaction of achieving your goals. So it brings in a synchronization between your mental health and your physical health. At the same time, if you're emotional, you are kind of person who is emotionally strong but physically weak, your emotional strength will push you to go ahead with your improvising on your physical health. If you're physically active but you always tend to ignore your emotions, when you see the results and quantified way of measuring the outcome of your physical input, it will lead to an emotional stability and enhance your emotional strength. So these are codependent factors. Now, effects on your overall personality. It makes your A better posture always gives you a better confidence, a better physical health, which leads you to do complete your majority of tasks, will always lead in a kind of self accomplished personality which is independent of everyone. Everything has capability to do their own task on time. So overall satisfaction and confidence is brought in your personality. These are the few advantages and like aspects related to physical health. Now the three pillars, three very important pillars which combined together makes right healthy lifestyle are rest and recovery. It's not exercise. Yes, people always tell you you should go and do some exercise. No, I always say rest and recovery. Why I say rest and recovery? Because even if you're just doing a sitting job, or whether you're doing just household work, it's not easy. It's not easy for a homemaker, it's not easy for a sedentary employee who is sitting and doing an office job. Constant mental pressure is there, constant emotional stress is there. Being a social being, that constant pressure of meeting up someone else's expectation puts us under pressure. And to recover from that, we need rest. Rest is the time where we switch off our body, we switch off our emotions, we slow down our thought process, and try to give rest to our physical form as well as mental form. If you're not well rested, you will always feel more emotional, either angry or more towards sadness side. Like fatigueness is the physical aspect, but even your mood swings will be greater if your body is not well rested. And if you don't give appropriate time for the recovery of your brain, that is the slowing down of your thought process, it will always lead to indecision. You will not be able to make a faster decision and apply it, because in back of the mind subconscious level, even while you were trying to rest, your thoughts are at a very high frequency level, which is not actually allowing you to take rest. Now rest and recovery, please don't understand as an 8 hours of sleep. It can be only 6 hours of sleep, it can be only 4 hours of sleep. What matters is the what kind of quality you are giving yourself. That quality, be, again the affirmation comes here. This next 4 hours, this next 6 hours is my rest time. Just throw your phone away, lie down in your bed, let your thoughts come. Attend one thought at a time. What I did in a day. Okay, I did nothing, it's okay. Tomorrow I'll wake up, I'll do something. Okay, I did 10 things but I couldn't do other 5 things. It's okay, tomorrow I'll wake up and I'll finish it off. That's not the end. This is my rest time and the priority is rest. Start counting your breaths at that time, and gradually you will feel more relaxed and the quality of your rest will improve. The moment the quality of rest improves, the quantity automatically depletes. In that way, you guys will have more time to do your other stuffs rather than focusing on rest. Then 8 hours of sleep is not even needed, because you are improvising on your quality. When you are physically tired, like you do some kind of activity, it can be dance, walking, or just running behind the kid, it puts you in a tiring position, because of which automatically your brain will slow down all the thoughts. When the slowing down of thoughts happen, your rest quality is always high. So rest means slowing down of how many numbers of thoughts are coming in mind, not how many hours you are going to sleep. It has nothing to do with hours, but everything to do with how active or inactive your brain is. Let the thought come, don't resist it, just observe it.
Guys, I believe there's again a technical glitch. Just remember that. No worries, we'll wait by then. I'm sure she will be joining us back. Shika, you there?
Yes, yes, I'm trying to reach her, Manju. Okay, I think she joined again. Suman, can you hear us?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I'm not sure where is Suman.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, Suman, you're audible. Just one request from you. Can we wrap it up in like next 5 minutes? And anyone who has a question or want any clarification can email me on this, and I'll connect you with Suman.
Sure, sure, sure.
Okay. Yeah, Suman, please go ahead.
Yeah. Please go to second last slide. I'll just complete the two other aspects, that is nutrition and physical movement. Second last, I believe. Uh, huh, about this one, I think the where I was talking about the three. It's okay. I was talking about the three important aspects of fitness, physical health. That is rest and recovery. Rest is again the quality of rest, not the quantity. Then nutrition. When we talk about nutrition, it's always about balanced diet and not going on a crash diet that where you're starving yourself to the death, or just like forcing yourself not to eat certain things. It has to be balanced. It has to be moderate in terms where you are full, your stomach is full with healthy food items. At the same time, if you plan to have little bit of not so healthy items, just go on a controlled portions, and not is like if you feel like to have pizza and having the entire large pizza by yourself. Just go ahead with the small portion of one slice of pizza or two slices of pizza based on how active you are physically. If you are into sedentary, just go for a smaller portion where you are not depriving yourself, you're treating yourself, at the same time you're not stuffing yourself. I will discuss this in a last slide a little more detail, like how you can implement it. The last one is movement. Movement can be like walking, jogging, running, gym, dancing, running behind your kids, something more than doing household activity. But we normally get it confused. Doing our jhadu pocha is also a good way. It is a good way, but with present lifestyle, things have become easier for us. We hardly move. Movement is very much important in your body to keep you in, just not in shape or your weight management, but also to allow yourself to use your various body part which God has given us. If there we have legs, there's a purpose for those legs which we need to use. If we have hands, there's a purpose we need to have those hands, and we need to use. The more we use ourself, our brain, our body, the much more stronger it becomes, the much more better it comes out. So physical health is not about weight management, but many other aspects of life. Shall we go on a last slide, Shikha? The small steps I'll suggest to start with your physical health: first, at least have 2 liters of water Always drink water first thing in the morning, empty stomach. And as days goes up, evening, reduce the quantity of water so that you get a better sleep at night. But whole day, try to drink good amount of water. If people are not in habit of drinking a lot of water, give yourself a target of 2 liters, 8 glass of water every day. It keeps you hydrated. It improvises your focus and concentration as well. We don't realize it, but it plays your 72% of body is made of water. So please just go ahead, a small change in your life. Start with 2 liters of bottle, 2 bottles of water every day. 10 minutes of silence every morning and every night. When you wake up in the morning, give yourself that 10 minutes prep talk. Before you go to sleep, give yourself those 10 minutes date that you did a good job, you look awesome, even in your pajamas you are the best. Just give that those affirmation to yourself. About fruits and vegetables, try to incorporate 2 vegetables and 1 fruit every day in your diet. Don't care what else you are eating or you're not eating, but 2 vegetables and 1 fruit every day. These small changes will lead to bigger changes and bigger understanding about yourself in life. So that's my take. I know in last we got little rush through, but anything related to fitness, health, you guys can come in touch with Shikha. She will have another 5 minutes so that they can ask some questions if they want to.
Sure.
Shikha.
Yeah, Suman, can you ping your Insta ID on the chat so that people can reach you out on Instagram directly, not through email?
Yes, I will do that.
Sure. Okay. So thank you everyone for attending the session. Now it's time that I look at the goodie winner for this particular session. Let me go to the tweet binder.
I think is my message visible to everyone?
Yes, Suman, it is.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not sure why is it taking so much time.